mention quickly, you're all on different timelines. You don't make a decision on a Monday. Not everybody's making a decision on a Wednesday, so take it as it resonates. May or may not be your story. How I read my cards is I read the initial sort of imprint of the main energy, and then we'll go into details around what the clarifiers are. So, of course, the Magician is a card of empowerment. It does speak to having all the skills, tools, and a way of making something manifest. So it looks like you're really focusing on some kind of a goal, dream, or something that you're trying to bring to light. We also have the Two of Cups, but we should mention this is a major arcana, so that is sort of your main energy out. Two of Cups is a lesser minor arcana, and of course it does still speak to connections, decisions, partnerships, anything like that. We also have the Fool card. This is also something in around taking a leap of faith, a new idea, or something that might present as a new option or something that you have not yet done before. And then we're going into, and again, I've also asked all of the questions in around how you feel about yourself, what the finances look like, what your partnerships, relationships, doesn't have to be romantic. But again, so it's a little bit more broad as it is a general read. Five of Pentacles. So again, this is something that still speaks to self-worth, could be feeling a lack or less than. Of course, we'll go through all the clarifiers here in just a few minutes. And then we also have some cards in around more specifically relationships with the Six of Swords. And again, all of the clarifiers, which we will get to. And that's usually kind of separating yourself from something or a level of distance between you and someone else. We also have the Hierophant, which is also another major arcana, which speaks to, dealing with things that have to do with, it could be Taurus energy here also. But it definitely feels like it's something around strong relationship status coming through in this read. So I would say it's still dealing with your partnerships, as well as, and again, this could be structure for business and that kind of thing, like governmental or otherwise, but we'll go into all the details and again, all of the clarifiers. But for me, this is more relationships aspects. So let's get right back into it. And again, we also had, bottom of the deck was the Hermit, and below that is Ten of Cups. So I would still say there's something here that kind of speaks to you still being in more of a passive phase of things in the month of June, because I feel like you're trying to manifest something. You're really trying to make something occur here, which has to do with a sense of purpose and partnership. So the two of them may be combined or individually separate, but either way, those are two very strong resonating things that are your, what I feel is coming through. So either way, it's dealing with your purpose, your partnerships, and there's something of a practical mastery that's, hi, Sajad. Thanks for joining. But again, there's something here about, practical partnership and practical mastery over something. So your sense of purpose is somehow tied to partnership. And I feel like it's going to be coming together. And that might be a little bit of a challenge in this month, in June, because maybe you're overextending yourself or something like that. We'll go through the clarifiers. But I feel like it's coming together to challenge, but also to elevate your inner world and something external to you. So what I mean by that is there's going to be like a dynamic growth in this period where you're going to get some kind of financial reset of some sort. It's like you're redefining who you are and how you want to show up in the world. There's a certain sense of emotional intelligence that's also coming down into this read here. I would still say that you can move on with purpose, in this cycle, but it's very potent for your sense of purpose, for sure. Again, there's energy here with the Magician, Two of Pentacles. There's a little bit of still juggling things, balancing act, that kind of thing. So it's almost like you're rebalancing the path of power here. So there's something here that signals some kind of initiation, like you have the tools, it depends on your level of focus, belief, and integrity. That's what the results depend on, because I see with that Two of Pentacles, that is where we're kind of struggling a little bit. So are you using your energy to build the highest vision that you have for yourself, or are you just reacting to what's urgent? That's kind of what's coming through. So again, there's still something here with the Two of Pentacles suggesting that you're juggling either multiple roles or finances that just makes you feel a little unstable in some way. Now, I want to say that some of the other cards that come out here do speak to, like with the Knight of Pentacles, that's a really slow, methodical energy. So there's still something here that speaks to you know, you kind of moving along in a way that is very deliberate, slow, committed to the work, something along that line. But there's also a sense of, sorry guys for the delay. I just wanted to just close up my car for just a second here, just because I do this en route, just as I have time. So last bit here with the Five of Pentacles does indicate that there is something here that speaks to deep fear or a lack, feeling of lack. And this could be something that's dealing with the past, but somehow it's surfacing here as a scarcity thinking or a bit of a rejection, something like that. Now, we also have, it's consecutive. So it goes from the Two of Pentacles, there's the Five of Pentacles here, but there's also something here that kind of shows up with the Four of Pentacles, and this one, even though they're all kind of a little bit separate here, but it is you know, a significant sort of note here that it's 2 to 4, you know, to 5. So certainly your money is on your mind, and I feel like there is certainly that sense of not feeling like you have enough or you're hoarding. There's a bit of defensiveness. There's a fear of risk, fear of loss, something like that. So the Four of Pentacles does suggest a level of feeling some kind of need to hold back, hold on to things. Now, there is a lot of good cards here, though, so don't let that be sort of your takeaway. The fact that we see the Hierophant out here is an indicator that this is your anchor, this is discipline. So there's something here about structure, mentorship, anything like that. This could be, you know, strong reliance on um, spiritual sources as well, but it is more of a recreating of your financial foundation and to make it align with your long-term values. That's what I see here. So, you know, just as, you know, a side note, you know, true wealth is the power to direct your energy toward a meaningful goal, which is what I see that you're doing here. So you're not selling out your soul for security. You're trying to make it align with the path that's important to you. Now, in terms of your relationships, I want to say we do have the Two of Cups energy that was out here as well. So that really speaks to some kind of decision. There is a deep connection that's available to you this month. Certainly with that energy followed up with Knight of Swords, there could be some kind of communication or something coming in really soon as well. But I also see, sorry, I'm just kind of going back through our other cards here. Now, we also had the Queen of Cups. So that is also an indicator that there's something that's not only are you willing to let go of, you know, some old dynamic, some old way of playing out something because of the Six of Swords energy. Could be somebody at a distance here as well, but it's like you're transitioning into a happier moment, happier waters, that kind of thing. So now you won't, not only that, but you have the release card as well with the Eight of Cups. So you are putting yourself into a space where you're willing to pause. And I said pause because as I flashed it earlier, there was the Hanged Man in there. So you're willing to pause, and in terms of a relationship, you know, so you're kind of taking the time not to force a decision, but to really think it through. And I feel like you're listening and you're waiting for something to come to light here for you to better understand the situation. And I feel what the result of that energy is that you do move into the Ace of Cups energy. So that tells me there is a meaningful hemanth, sorry, face. Well, not showing my face. There's reasons why, because of the work I do and blah, blah, blah. So it's stuff along that line. But that's not really so much the issue, you know. But anyway, you know, this is my story. This is the cards I do. So, but anyway, as far as the Ace of Cups, I just want to talk about that one here with the Ace of Cups. We also had energy around, there was the Page of Cups here as well. So to me, this really is an indicator that it's kind of an emotional renewal, even though it's a small gesture of some sort. It's like a gentle beginning, a little bit of a nudging towards something. And I feel like it's a spiritual intimacy in some way. So again, your relationship choices have a really profound effect on your alignment and your purpose. So there again, there's still something there about your connection in this relationship. And again, this doesn't have to be love or romance. This can be just a connection to somebody who's very important to you. It does feel like it's a long-term relationship with the Hierophant for sure. But I still feel like you're in that space of, even in terms of who you are, because we've got the Fool out here, I feel like you are rethinking who you are. You know, there's a sense of wanting more freedom. There's a sense of wanting more. Um, you might even do something that's more impulsive with the Knight of Swords energy. But I feel like it's a desire to act, you know, but it out of a true transformation. So you want to choose wisely. And that's what I feel like you're doing with that Hangman energy, is taking a pause before you make any decisions. And again, we also have the Eight of Cups, which also is an indicator that you're departing away from old stories. Not, you're not who you were, you are becoming. Let's put it that way. So I feel like, sorry guys, what I feel like's happening for you, Aries, is this month in June is you reframing yourself and your ambitions, you know, from something that was ego driven to more soul driven. It has more purpose, it has more meaning to you. So when you catch yourself in that black and white thinking, you know, all or nothing, you know, I succeed or I fail, replace it with I'm experimenting. I'm not failing. I grow through this refining process, you know, of getting to the other side of whatever it is that I'm looking at. You know, the practice is around your mental anchoring before you make big decisions. So you recall a past moment where you had some successes, and then you kind of breathe into, I can do that again, sort of moment. So the energy here that was coming through fairly strong, and again, as your main energy was the Hierophant, and we also had the Magician energy. So to me, the big energy out for you this month has more to do with, you know, I feel like there's a Gemini energy in here too as well, again with the Magician and the Knight of Swords. But so you're making some fast choices, or at least there's fast thinking. There's also some kind of communication coming through here from someone. But it's almost like you're almost weighing out something, you know, like the two sides of yourself. You know, do you want mastery, or do you want just to keep going in the same way that you are? And I feel like you're probably leaning more toward mastery, and alignment of something that's spiritual driven, like I said, because that seems to be the focus. I am not saying that it's all without money, you know, because the Hierophant is showing up here. And that is an indicator that this is structure, this is resources, these are material things that you're looking at as well. Not only that, you also had the Four of Pentacles. So again, there's a lot of meaning around finances and doing something that, even though it's aligning with your own values, you're also in that space of, I need it to actually, you know, provide for me. So again, there's the Pisces energy that comes out with that Hanged Man as well. But I would still say overall, and that Queen of Cups energy, you're sort of surrendering to the dream. You are allowing something to come in. Just when a call comes through. But what I would say there is there's still something around, you know, heart-based connections, emotional depth. Those things are really important to you this month. I do feel like the Knight of Pentacles tells me, you know, not only you're taking a pause, but you're also doing things in a methodical way, in a practical way. You know, it's very detailed work, and you're kind of doing things to heal yourself as well. But there is a certain level of detachment with that Six of Swords. And again, even in terms of a connection, I feel like you might be at a bit of a distance with someone here as well. Where'd it go? Our Six of Swords. But either way, that Six of Swords energy still speaks to the same. You know, there's something here about going forward, transitioning, despite a little bit of discomfort, but you are doing things in a way that is balanced. So I don't feel like you're acting quickly here. I feel like you're listening, you're grounding, you're feeling things in a very in a way that needs to be aligned, to align with yourself. So either way, I feel like you're beginning with a vision in the month of June. I feel like your decisions will be, or must be made, you know, around security and soulful connections or spirituality, something that really aligns with you. You're just not going to do anything for money. I feel like you are somehow renewing your connections as well in some way, because partnerships seem to be really significant around, even around your connection to your work, I would say. I feel like you're in that space of energy is going to kind of spike at some point here with that Knight of Swords. And again, some kind of communication coming in really quick here as well. It's like you want action. You want action. You want something to move ahead, but your patience is your power. So it'll be like a quick start that will lead into steady habits with that Knight of Pentacles. So again, whether this is a new job or a new project or a financial decision that arises, I just feel like you are asking yourself in a pause, is this something that is more for my long-term peace or a short-term validation? So that's really important to you. And again, when we go through, so this is probably about week 3 is when you feel that 5 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups energy with the Hierophant, walking away from that scarcity mindset. So I feel like that's where there's a spiritual or financial wound of some sort that surfaces in about that 3rd week of June, but don't run. It's really where you need to either get wise counsel or mentorship or start to let go of the beliefs about suffering and, that suffering equals strength, that kind of thing, because you want to track your core money beliefs, and what you were taught about success you know, and how you're allowing yourself to move past it because you don't want to get stuck or trapped by it. So again, we had the 4 of Pentacles energy that was in there as well. But that is still something that's going to open up here with that Page of Cups. So overall, I would say that you are surrendering to a heart space. I feel like you're taking a bit of a pause. There's something sweet or soft or something that's going to come in that will give you a feeling of emotional safety or reconnection to someone. Somewhere in around, like I said, that 3rd week there. And I feel like you're almost in some kind of relational breakthrough or some kind of breakthrough creatively. So I feel like you need to practice patience for sure in this month. Don't try to solve things. Instead, feel it. What does your heart want to express, not fix? Because I feel like your life's mission or your purpose in the month of June is to integrate everything. You're meant to be a builder of new systems, not just for you, but for others. And your soul mission this month is really to align your actions with your heart and to lead from courage, not control. So your relationships are definitely a test of your boundaries, but I feel like your relationships, even though they test your boundaries, I still feel like they reflect growth. And so you're choosing emotional responsibility over reactivity. And that's really important. So again, in terms of career, I feel new paths are emerging that will require some discipline, especially with the Knight of Pentacles coming out there, enable for you to avoid burnout. You're kind of the slow builder in the month of June. And I do feel in terms of your finances, you do have some financial fears that resurface here time to time, but you're in the space of trying to reset those beliefs and maintain practical habits to overcome it. In terms of your relationships, I feel like you have more emotional depth. There's a softness and more of a spiritual connection that's key. So that letting go, to be able to receive, give and receive is really what's happening here. Overall, your mindset is shifting from doing more to being more. And I feel like you're reclaiming your right to build the peace around you, not just progress, but you're trying to build more peace. And I feel like your mission in the month of June is that you're being called into a heart centered leadership. So it's something intuitive, is something intentional, and is liberating you in some way. So, again, there's a lot of really good cards here that come from regrouping because of your power, or your inner power, like your inner voice. So, that's what I have for you for the month of June, Aries. Keep moving forward, and we'll see you in the next read.